You ready?
I'm ready.
What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the farm. Today, Emily and we are by ourselves. Lane is actually helping a friend and neighbor put a new metal roof on their house. So I'm super tickled that he is willing to help people. He's a really helpful young man, and he's the type, we've had people break down out in front of our house and things like that. He's always willing to help. So I'm super proud of him for doing that. But that leaves Emily and I to do the farm stuff. So we are going, you can see the big mess behind me. We are gonna clean this garden up today. I'm gonna take you around and kind of show you what it looks like beforehand, and what it we've already kind of done part of it. So let me kind of give you an overview of what we're about to do. So you can see this whole area has already been, we pulled up all the row cover, ground cover, and we really like this ground cover back here. I shared with you on a couple videos ago, we're not going to use the billboard anymore, but this back here is legitimate ground cover from Grower Solution. We've been super pleased with it. We actually put the sheep in this area and let them clean some of it up. So that just needs to be worked into the soil. We're going to do some amendments and things this winter. But then there's this area, and you can see we still need to pull up the ground cover. There's cages on the peppers, more ground cover, frost blankets laid around from when it frosted. We're going to take that fence down over there. We've actually got another fence to take down right there. That's where like cucumbers and things like that were, and so we're going to take that down as well. We're just going to clean this whole thing up. And in fact, I said we were going to take all this row cover up. We're going to leave this outside piece over here because we have something to plant there. So it looks like we've got about 3 pieces to pull up and 2 long fences. So you might be thinking, why in the world are they taking that up? Because not everyone pulls up this row cover every year, and that was our plan, was not to. But we did not, I guess, think through well enough what we were doing last year. We thought we had a great plan, and we've had a lot of you comment and say, why didn't you learn from Kevin and Sarah? And we love Kevin and Sarah. They are actually some of our good personal friends, but they live a state away from us. We don't get together all the time, and they are just like us. In fact, we talked about this in person. They don't have time to watch all of our videos, and we have not seen all of their videos. So to be honest with you, I didn't realize, I didn't put it together that they had actually made this same mistake as well. But lesson learned. We left some spaces, as you can see, between where the row covers were, and planted things like green beans and different kinds of beans and corn and okra, and grass just took over. And so now you've got this small space you're trying to work, like with a hoe, or you're definitely not getting a tiller or anything like that in there. It was a lot, multiple times of hand weeding, crawling around on the hot ground cover. It was just not a pleasant experience, not something we want to do again. So with that being said, we're pulling it all up, we're reevaluating, and we will not do that again. We probably will cover the ground in some areas, but we will definitely overlap those, and we will put holes in it. We were just hesitant to take our new beautiful ground cover and start filling it full of holes, but that is what we're going to do. That's what it's for. So Emily and I are about to hit it. One more thing though I want to share with you is there is some super exciting, hopefully, changes coming to this back garden next year. That's all I'm going to say for now, but stay tuned for that. We have huge gardening goals this next year, and some things changing around here that we've not done or tried before. So stay tuned for that. Me and my girl are about to get busy, so we're about to whip this into shape. First piece is up, thankfully. Whew. Makes a difference when there's just 2 of us as opposed to 4. So now we're gonna work on this fence, try to get it taken down. Day 2 on this little garden cleanup project. We ran out of daylight and energy yesterday, so today we're back out here, Emily and I. We've got to fold up these row covers, we've got to roll up some fence and get all this cleaned up because it's going to rain in a day or two and we don't want all this to get wet and muddy again.
So, come in from work, the box is sitting there and I can't wait till Christmas.
So we've been working on getting our back garden cleaned up. A lot of work, but it's going to be worth it because we're going to do it right the next time.
Yep.
We, if you can't tell, are planning for next year. We're excited already. This is the time we get excited. Is in winter. We start dreaming about next year. The work's over. So
really just thinking about what all we really want to do, concentrate on. I think we've both made up our mind that we're going to go a little smaller next year just because we're going to replenish some of the nutrients in our soil in our front garden.
Right.
And just let it rest for a year.
Right. So we're actually going to just let the front garden just be covered in ground cover. And not necessarily just ground cover, but things like the radishes that are out there now, other things like that will draw up nutrients and feed it and all that kind of stuff. And then we've got really exciting stuff in the back, which we'll hold off on talking about for probably another week or so, but this is going to come in handy.
And the ground cover came in, it's in this that
for
we're
the front garden.
Going to put on the front garden during the summer.
Yes.
And of course, I love it because it's going to help my bees too.
Yep. So let's open this. You start opening, and I wanted to tell you guys, we're getting our potatoes from Haas this year. We did last year too, and they did really good. And so we kind of narrowed down the varieties we really liked from them. So our potatoes should be in, it all depends on, like Ben said, on the weather, because they will not ship them when they could possibly freeze in transit. So like we might get ours before some of you guys if you order, because they're going to take care of your potatoes and make sure they get them to you in great condition.
In the best condition, prime condition. So they don't, biggest thing is they don't want them to freeze in transit. Right.
But now is the time to get them ordered because they're expecting shortages this next year. You guys know it was bad in 2020, and 2021 could be even worse for gardening shortages. I'm not saying that to be negative or make you panic, but to just make you aware because you might want to order now.
One other thing that I tried to order last year and kind of postponed and waited too late was this right here. And these sell out really quickly is what he told me last year. So I got my order in early to make sure I got one for this year. I'll open that in just a minute, but it's just it's a garden fork. And,
all right, let's dig into this.
It's for digging the potatoes.
Oh, that'll be handy.
So this right here is ground cover for the front garden. Plus I'm going to experiment with some of it out in our pasture.
So that is actually sun hemp.
That right there is another ground cover.
This says sorghum Sudan grass. So that's what we're going to be putting in the front garden.
And
this is
one more right here.
This is actually 10-pound bags. How big is that one?
All of them are 10 pounds.
10 pounds. What's that one?
This is the African cabbage, African forage cabbage. So like I said, I'm going to also probably do some experimental patches out in the pasture for the cattle. I just want to see how it grows, but the majority of this is going to go out there on the front garden. And
I keep calling it ground cover, but it's really technically called a cover crop.
Yeah.
So because the ground, as you guys know, likes to be covered. So it's going to cover itself with weeds, or we're going to use something to work for us.
But then also I'm planning on keeping some of all this for next year. And if we go ahead and let our back garden rest for a year, we've got our cover crop for the winter. I saved some of that, and then we've got this here that we'll put on it 2022 summer.
So that's our plan, is to let the front one rest this next year and let the back one rest the following year. Sometimes we are pretty bad about just working ourselves to death.
And the gardens.
And just to be doing it. And so we have a lot of vegetables stored up. We can afford to do this as far as our vegetables and things go. And it'll be a much needed scale back, I guess you could say, for 1 year. All right.
So here's you some bush beans.
Momentum bush bean. Excited about those.
Some spineless okra.
Crimson spineless okra. This is my favorite okra. It's not fancy. It's not the colored kind or anything. It's just your standard green okra, and it's what grows the best here. I've got some other kinds too that I'm going to plant, but this is my go-to for if I really just want to know that I'm going to get a good crop of okra. So these are the seeds we got. I'm going to quickly just tell you guys what we got. This is a green zebra zucchini. I don't know how well y'all can see that, but it's striped. Really excited about that one. Butternut squash, one ball squash, love those. Really excited about these. Red curry squash, delicata squash. That might be my favorite winter squash. Gold prize, gold star. These are all squash. If you can't tell, I like squash. Sweet dumpling, and then another butternut. Really think this one's cool. Partial eclipse squash, and then a summer pick tomato. So we'll be trying all these and showing you how they turn out.
What was that for?
Okay, this is called a Buell gourd. I'm gonna get closer. This you can actually dry. I don't know if that'll focus, but you can actually make that into bowls. I'm so excited.
And then that, you had a bowl of them on the table.
Yeah, I actually bought these small gourds this year for decoration, so Ben said, no, we're gonna grow those.
Couple of cabbages.
Yep. Savoy and Cheers.
And you want to tell them why we're getting a lot of those?
I am going with beef tomatoes this year, like beefsteak. This is called the Big Beef. I grew a lot of paste this last year, and my goal this year is big tomatoes. I like big tomatoes for canning, not sauces, but I've got enough sauce. I don't even have to do sauce. I like big ones. You don't have to even have as many, and they're so much easier to peel to can. They go so much further.
Got a cabbage.
Stonehead.
A pumpkin.
And then Diablo pumpkin. I thought that was cool.
And then a couple of
National Pickling cucumber and Max Pack. Again, National Pickling, it might not be your fanciest one, but it's my old standby. It's the one I plant when I know I want cucumbers and I want lots of pickles.
One recommendation I have is when you do, if you do markers for outside where you know what plants what, get you a good garden marker. I've used Sharpies in the past, and they disappear within a couple months.
The sun fades it out. You got to get something with UV protection.
Yeah, and that's what these garden markers do.
And that's a big thing of wooden garden stakes.
You gonna show them yours?
Yes.
I'll show them mine.
Oh, and I love this shirt. It says, let the beat drop. And then the back has Haas's logo. Love it.
Come on.
And these are the really soft, like thinner t-shirts. I really love these.
Grow your own food.
I like that one. It's got a basket of vegetables. Cool. I really love these. These are good quality t-shirts.
And the Haas logo on the front.
All right, so we've also got these over-the-shoulder garden buckets. These will be awesome for picking. They've got adjustable straps. You can make them sit really anywhere you want to on your front. And then these will be just really awesome for picking, like especially like vertical picking if you're growing on a trellis, or really just any kind, picking fruit, anything like that. So.
And I got you one for the front and one for the back.
Oh yeah, right. No, I'm saying you got me one for me and a helper. All right, and finally, this handy garden fork, and that thing is heavy duty. That is no flimsy garden fork.
Wow, welded, all metal there, no wooden handle to rot out.
That will be perfect for potatoes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm happy about that.
All right, so there's a link to Hoss down below. I would encourage you to get your potatoes figured out on what you're gonna do there. They really do ship good, nice seed potatoes. And also, I would also mention, I don't know that we have a link or any kind of thing for this, but we plan to get our onions also from Dixondale Farms. We did not sprout our own onions this year.
Again.
So it's just life happens, and we haven't got them started, and we love their onions anyway. And they're a great company. They'll help you figure out what you need for your zone. They've helped us pick onions, and they've worked awesome here.
Yep.
Because you can't grow the same types
down
in
south
the north,
as you can
right,
in the north. Yep.
Exactly. So check out Dixondale Farms as well.
All right, so we got all that cleaned up. Now it's time to get our garlic in. We're late on planting garlic, I know, but it's better to plant it now than not plant it at all. So garlic is best planted in well-drained soils and not really good to plant in strictly clay. So we're gonna get some good compost mixture. Got a perfect spot out here where our cows, you know, did their thing. And it's been breaking down all year. We're gonna put some of that in each one of the holes, so let's go get busy. So all this is where we clean out the barn. Last couple of years we've just drug it out here. So it's been breaking down for a while. There may be a little bit of green or fresh organic matter in it, but overall it's broke down really well. And I think it's gonna make some good compost fill for around them. All right, so we're gonna get out our garlic that we've gotten from Hoss. We'll go ahead and lay it out down through here, and that way I know how many holes to burn. Because I'm still having issues not wanting to burn holes through this, but I think it's gonna be our best way to garden this next year. We gotta break all these up. Individual cloves. All right.